What is the number one thing holding Jiu-Jitsu back? It's competition scene. Games like football and soccer have their rabid fan bases willing to go to war with each other over who wins and loses. We resort back to our caveman ways and go full mob mentality over it. But competition in Jiu-Jitsu isn't quite the same. From rule sets changing between every organization, separating the sport into gi and no-gi, and abysmal fighter pay, Jiu-Jitsu still hasn't made its breakthrough into mainstream media. Don't get me wrong, some athletes out there certainly have their crazy fans that would first sacrifice their marriage just to spend more time with the athletes. But even with these setbacks, such as the terrible fighter pay for anybody that actually wants to be good at the sport, Craig Jones is trying to make a difference for the scene with the CJI. The CGI, otherwise known as the Craig Jones Invitational, is a brand new event in the scene, and it's making huge waves in Jiu-Jitsu media because of one reason.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is $1 million in cash.
Currently, payouts in Jiu-Jitsu aren't that hot. It's pretty well known that if you want to make any money in this sport, you either need to have instructionals in Sauda, do seminars, or own a gym. Not anything related to focusing on winning tournaments. But guess what? How does $1 million sound? This is where everything changes. With the CGI, Craig is going to be having two different brackets, below 80 kilograms and above 80 kilograms. Every competitor that enters these tournaments gets $10,001 and $1 million if they win the whole thing. And I don't know about you guys, but $1 million is a lot of money to me. But why does this amount of money really matter? If you win ADCC, it should probably be pretty similar, right?
That's a good one!
If you do ADCC, the winner of each bracket gets $10,000 unless you do absolute or a super fight, and then the winner gets $40,000. But if you place lower than first, or you're just a woman in the sport, you get paid a lot less than 10 grand. Now remember, the CGI, you get $10,000 if you just show up to the event. One of the reasons why this is crazy is because ADCC is considered to be the Olympics of no-gi grappling. And it's true, it is like the Olympics, where the athletes get paid absolutely nothing compared to how much they make for the organization. They expect you to make your money in the future after winning the events because you get some great exposure for competing with them. Now, not only is the CGI announcing two different brackets with $1 million payouts, but they also have super fights. Everybody's fan favorite Fionn Davies would be competing against somebody we haven't heard yet, and Craig Jones said he's going to be going up against Gabby Garcia, which to me is more like an OnlyFans match. Okay, good. We have CGI willing to pay people more money, and it's just more competition, so this can only be a good thing, right?
No.
In Craig's pursuit to elevate fighter pay, he decided to be a madman. He went directly against ADCC. It's on the same weekend, same city, and he's trying to poach all their fighters. Now, only one thing can come from this. Athletes have to choose if they want to go to ADCC or the CJI. Nicky Rod is out, Attacker Brothers are out, Nicky Ryan is out, and more to come. With so much money being offered to athletes who could clearly increase their overall life, they made the obvious play. Just to make a comparison for you guys, if you won ADCC and you won CGI, you'd have to win ADCC 100 times over against the same deadly competition just to get the same payout you could have had with CGI. But it doesn't end there. When you think about professional sports, it's relatively pretty easy to watch. You want to watch UFC, you can buy a pay-per-view. If you want to watch football, you can just go find it on local television channels. But how does one watch professional jiu-jitsu? Must be just as easy, right? Flow Grappling is the main distributor for ADCC, and trust me, they completely suck. Stream quality, audio cutting in and out, predatory pricing forcing people into year-long memberships. It's a laundry list of issues that honestly deserves its own video. But here's some other great news. CGI is completely free on YouTube. The same place where you can watch amazing aquariums being built is also going to host your favorite jiu-jitsu competitors. So the real question is, who really wins here? Well, the first winner will be you. If you go to Transparent Labs with promo code Tyler and pick yourself up some great supplements. Some of my favorite products that they offer are Hydrate, so I can stay hydrated throughout the entire day with tons of electrolytes in my system so I can be training twice a day, and Post, so I can be having great recovery after all my training sessions and I can do fancy YouTube videos for you guys. But even if you already have supplements like these, they offer a plethora of different items on their website. And all their ingredients are top notch. You won't need to be worried about having tainted supplements, so go get yourself the best products possible at transparentlabs.com with promo code Tyler. But in all seriousness, the fans really do win on this one because if they want to see great super fights, CGI is going to be putting them on. Another obvious winner here is Craig. He massively wins because he is a secret sugar daddy giving him all this money, and as long as he can make the event a success, we could probably see more of this in the future. He's committed to evolving the sport and making fighter pay better for all the competitors, and everybody wants to see that happen. And athletes win as well because having more choices, believe it or not, is much better than having less choices, especially when one of them wants to pay you so much more. Now, ADCC will be neutered by this competition, but for how long? I think the biggest question people have is if the CGI is just a one-time event or if it's going to be returning annually. Craig has mentioned how he'd love to bring it back, but he has to make sure that it's a success of an event, whatever that means to his sponsors. Or is this just going to be a one-off where ADCC loses out on 1 year, all the athletes switch over, and then in the future when they want to try and re-enter ADCC, they're put on a vendetta list because of Mo? I would hate to see people like the Tacker brothers, who were the first to go after rightly earning their positions in the trial tournaments, were more or less blacklisted from future ADCC events, but I think everyone is aware of how petty companies can be when capitalism doesn't go their way. The other big question is with the funding of CJI. Sure, Craig has found some oil warlords willing to elevate the fighter pay for this one event, but what if it doesn't make any profit at all? It's free to watch, which is great for us, but they lose a ton of revenue there. The payouts to the athletes are insane, so that's a direct expense for the company. And it's a brand new event, which can be both good or bad. But we should be aware that Craig has amassed a massive cult following willing to buy instructionals, merch, and even his tainted underwear. So let's not doubt this guy can find a way to monetize the event. My biggest hope is that CGI is put on the map. Even if fighters have to take reduced payouts in the future to have more events, having more choices, especially with more payouts, is always going to be better for the competitors. Then if other events want to compete with CGI, they're definitely going to have to pay their athletes more as well now that people get used to the increased pay. I'm also interested to see who crosses over to this event. B team names are great, but it can't all just be Craig's teammates. We need strong competitors like the Ruotolos or Mika Galvo. They likely aren't hurting for money, but I also imagine they won't be saying no to $1 million. Having bigger names outside of Craig's group will add a lot of legitimacy to the competition. Another quick side note, but Craig has even mentioned that retired legends have been talking about wanting to come back to do a super fight. Who knows? Maybe we'll be seeing my favorite Marcelo Garcia or the return of people like Rafa Mendes. Overall, it's kind of sad to see that athletes need to go this route just to be paid fairly for being the absolute best at their weight in the world. I personally enjoy ADCC. Watching all the matches and seeing how good everyone is against each other. You get some crazy matchups like Cade vs Mika from 2022, but in a world of companies rewarding their workers with free coffee and pizza parties, and Mo himself paying Twitch streamers more than his athletes, it's nice to see a new one is popping up with fat stacks of cash. I'm curious to see how this all evolves, who continues to crossover, and I can't wait to watch it this summer.